Hey, thanks for joining me today. You're listening to the Sit Down with Roman Gray. Hello, hello. Today I'm going to talk about love. How do you trust your feelings when they can just disappear? Is there a point in a doomed romance? Why do people always end up hurting the ones they love most? Love. We all know about it. The movies entice us with it. But how do we navigate it? What kind of love do we, as individuals, want? These types of questions can keep going on and on. I wasn't really sure how to start this because love is such an important, and because of that, touchy subject. I can only explain and go into this with my experiences, my observations, and what I've heard from others. So if you don't like what I have to say about it, I understand. Real love should always be unconditional. When you say you love someone, it should never be, I love you, but, or I only love you when, whatever. When you say you love someone, you're saying you love them right then and there for who they are, not just for who you think they might be. You accept everything about them. Love is omnipotent. Love has no boundaries and cannot be contained. We all want to love and want to be loved. However, we all want to be loved in different ways. How I want to be loved won't necessarily mean that's how you want to be loved. And I think that's really important. I haven't heard anyone ever bring that up in conversation before. I can definitely tell you from experience what love is most certainly not. It is not neglect. Love is not dismissive. Love is not conditional. A relationship is a partnership, not a dictatorship. In a relationship, we're equals. No one is better than the other, ever. We deserve to be cared for and respected as such. However, even when we try our best to make things right, even when we could have sworn we've been doing well in our relationships, stuff still seems to go wrong. Why does love go away? Why does complacency turn our love into an unhealthy, mangled beast? And it's like, at what point did we close our eyes and not realize we grew apart? Our expressions of love can only be as well put together as we are. Our love can be intense and fragile, just like the rest of us. We forget to care for our individual selves as well as a couple. Just because we may have been together for a long time doesn't mean we let our love become lazy. It's unfortunate that when we love for long periods of time, we let that love deteriorate as we become too comfortable. Forgetting that no matter how long we've been with someone, we all want to be reminded of that deep, passionate, and intense love that so many experience at the beginning of a relationship. A common phrase is, we let the love die out. And with that, so does our understanding and care for each other. Love has never been purely physical. That's called lust. Love runs much deeper than the blues of the ocean. When we love, it's the connection, the deep bond that we find ourselves yearning for as we move forward. That understanding, vulnerability, and intimacy. What I've learned is that the love we all know to be is a fairy tale. What we see on TV and in the movies has led us wrong. If we follow the false ideas of love that are given to us, then it leads us to some false expectations. Some people may be like, well, duh, but this is also one of those things where you only truly understand it when you experience it. Basically, in a sense, to give you a good picture of it, here's a quote from Mike Tyson. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And now that might be rather aggressive for this topic, but the logic is similar when it applies to love. We all have ideas, answers, and plans when it comes to love and relationships until we're actually in love, in a deep relationship. And then all your ideas, answers, and plans go right out the window. Just don't let your care for your partner be blinded enough that you also throw out what is so special out the window as well. I think in America, our view and ideas of love are still in its adolescence. And it's portrayed in movies, TV books, and stories. We, in America, regardless of our age, view love the way a child views the world. An exciting dream, that rarely reaches fulfillment. We've become so oversaturated with our far-fetching thoughts that it becomes unrecognizable when we try to pair it with real life. This is what then leads us to feel let down because we fed love and relationships with false expectations. And that's not necessarily anyone's fault. It's one of those things that have been fed and passed down through generations because we all love perfect happy endings. And things seem to always be better when they're told in stories. Where we get it wrong is that the stories are fiction and painted like fairy tales. Regardless of that, sooner or later, we tend to cross paths with those who we seem to never get enough of, whom we just can't get out of our heads. Love can change. Love will always be around, but it was never promised that the love we have for each other will always stick around. The chances that brought us together may be what pulls us back away from each other. Our lives are not spoken and experienced in perfect ways, and I think that's why it's so beautiful. Capturing these moments of beauty and raw emotion in the mess of our lives is what makes them so memorable. We roam these paths with unknown names and strangers, and it leaves us with wanting something more meaningful. We reach out for help in the hope of having someone there for us. And that sets us on the chase for something so admired. Love is the one true thing we all search for. Even if everything was burning and crumbling all around us, even if we don't understand anything, in the end, we all want that special someone to come home to at the end of the day, to hold us, love us, and cherish us. Connection in love, patience in love, acceptance in love, real love. This episode kind of inspired me to write a little something special, and so I figured this is how I want to end it for today. I just want to warn you, it may be a bit sappy, but here it goes. Just dance with me along these tides of time. Our love is a duet between now, who we were, and who we want to be. We play with time in hopes that we can feel something in this life. I'm not afraid to say I want your love. I want our love. Let's experience all the impermanence life has to offer. We can sing our hearts out till we lose our voices and fall in love a little more every single day. For even if we end, it's better to have loved you for a day than not at all. And I want nothing else but to love you endlessly. And here's just one more piece. Hold me, love me, until the lights blow out and we can sit in each other's darkness with nothing but the warmth that radiates from our hearts as we free ourselves from our own mind and into the arms of each other, with all our misfortunes and past selves far beyond us in this darkness. Our souls have finally met their match and ignite, lighting our truest selves on full display. And as we swell up in flames, we grow brighter and brighter with nothing in our way.